It was the sound of the disco era. Robin Gibb, together with his brothers Barry and Maurice, were the Bee Gees, one of the most successful pop groups of all time. Raised in England and Australia, the Gibb brothers started cranking out the hits in the 1960s.
I'm going back to Massachusetts.
But it was in the 70s, when their popularity was starting to slump, that they found their groove in disco. Using their distinctive falsetto, the Bee Gees did the soundtrack for Saturday Night Fever and became a worldwide sensation. The album was #1 for 6 months, selling 40 million copies. It was one of the best-selling records of the 1970s.
We didn't really foresee it, certainly how big it was going to be.
As the disco era passed, the backlash began. The Bee Gees became a punchline and struggled to remake their image.
You can't be wonderful to everybody one minute and terrible to everybody the next. And we were pretty well devastated by it.
Don't tell me not to stare.
Robin and his brothers worked on solo careers as the Bee Gees fell out of favor. And they worked behind the scenes, writing songs for stars, including Barbra Streisand, Dionne Warwick, and Dolly Parton. The 90s brought a series of new hits, and in 1997, the respect they craved, a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Success brought 7 Grammy Awards and album sales of over 200 million. Robin's twin Maurice died of a twisted intestine in 2003. Robin was in and out of the hospital in recent years. He came down with pneumonia in April, forcing him to miss the London premiere of his classical Titanic Requiem. A few days later, he slipped into a coma. The setback came as Robin and his brother Barry had started rehearsing together again. They've been talking about a Bee Gees reunion, saying, "We still have a lot of music in us." Teresa Garcia, CBS News.